Hello and welcome to our 6th session, and in this session we are going to complete construction of stairs across all the remaining 3 floors. You can open the project that we completed in the previous session and start working on it, but if you doesn't have those files, don't worry. You can visit our Patreon page and you can download it. If you come into your YouTube video or in the LMS, you are provided with a Patreon link. Click on this link. Come into the Patreon page, and if you scroll down in attachment, you have apartment_set5.zip. Click on this to download it. Once the file is downloaded, just right click on this and go into extract all and click on the extract button. Come into downloads and cut or copy this extracted folder. Come into your D Unreal projects folder and click paste. Double click on Epic Games Launcher to open this, and in Unreal Engine library you have apartment_set5. Just double click to open this. Come into your content drawer, and in content maps you have this apartment_05 stairs completed. Double click to open this. This was what we had completed in our previous session. We had added stairs only for the ground floor. Now I will come into file, choose save current level as, and I am going to name this as apartment_6 all stairs completed, and click on the save button. Now if you come into the house plan_images folder, which I have already downloaded, you can now see here the ground floor was 2.4 meter, but for the other 3 floors I have to cover a stairs of 3 meters. If I carry out the calculation, the steps depth there is no change. It will be 130 centimeters. The length is going to change from 210 to 300 centimeters. For every segment of my stairs, I am going to use 100 centimeter, means my step height should be 20 centimeter. Previously we maintained a height of 14 centimeters. Now I am going to maintain a height of 20 centimeters. Now coming back to Unreal Engine, come here into the top view. I will come into the modeling mode. I will come into create, but before I select the stairs, I will come into my outliner. I will select all the compound pillars here, and I am going to right click, and I am going to move this to a new folder called as compound, and then I am going to select all the lift area here. I am going to right click, and I am going to move all these things to a new folder called as lift. Compound wall also, I select all this compound wall, right click, and I am going to move it into the compound folders. And for the ceilings, ground and pillars, select all these pillars with control selected, and then also SM site area, right click, and I am going to move it into compound. I will right click here and create a new folder and call it as stairs, and I will move this SM still stairs into stairs. I will move SM main gate also into my compound segment. I am going to come into modeling mode create, and I am going to come into stairs, and now I am going to choose output dynamic mesh, and type of stairs I will select floating, and number of steps I need is 5. And the width of my steps will be 100 centimeter, and the step height I am going to maintain it 20, and step depth will be 26. I am going to leave all other at its default value. Pivot location set to base. I will come here, click, and then click on the accept button. I will come into transform and reset the location to 0. See that the rotation is also set to 0. Then I will zoom out, and I am going to drag this and bring it up here, and I am going to turn it along the Z axis by -90 degree, and I will move it. So I will zoom, right click to pan. I will come into this snapping and disable location snapping, and then I will now precisely move and adjust the position. This sits exactly here. See, this should sit exactly like this. I will select this SM_still stairs, and I will switch it off temporarily. I will come into the front view. This stairs that we have created is sitting on the 0 axis and I have to shift it above this tilt floor to this ground floor. So, I will just drag it and I am going to just zoom it and place it precisely over here, or I will make it 247.5, and you can see that it is precisely placed. I will now come into perspective view and press F. I am going to zoom into this area. I will now select this, come into model, choose polygroup edit, and I am going to select insert edge loop, and I am going to add an edge loop to create the parapet wall. I will come to this edge and I will just click once and I will click done here. Then I will click accept. I will now come into the top view and again come into polygroup edit and come into selection filter and switch off vertex and face, and with edge selected I will enable this edge loop option, and if I now click here, you can now see this entire edge loop is selected. Initially I will just zoom in, right click and pan, and I will precisely place it on this wall precisely, and then I will come into delta mode and I will switch on, and now I need a parapet wall of 4 inches. 4 inches is equal to 10.16 centimeter, and along the x axis move it by 10.16 centimeter and click accept. Now I will come into perspective view, I will deselect, again select it, come into polygroup edit, and I will now switch off edge selection, come into face selection, even edge loop I will off it, and I am going to select 1, 2, 3, 4 and these 5 faces here, come into push pull, and here in distance mode I will choose fixed, and the height of my parapet wall will be 3 feet, which is equal to around 90 centimeter, and I will click accept action, and I will also click on accept polygroup edit. I does not want the top here to be like steps like this. So, I will select it, come into the front view, and in the front view now I will come into polygroup edit, come here into the vertex selection mode, I will switch off face selection, vertex selection enabled, I select these vertices and move it to the top along the x axis. My height is 20. So, if I just type 20 here, it will move and sync with this top vertices. Then similarly, I select this second set of vertices, move it along the z axis by 20 units. Then this third set of vertices, move it along the z axis by 20 units, and select finally this set of vertices and move it along the z axis by 20 units, and then click accept to accept polygroup edit. Now come into perspective view, and now if I deselect, right click, press D, and if I just have a view of this, so this appears now to be fine. I will come again into the front view, and I need 3 segments here, on the left side of the lift, another on the back side and another on the right side. And with this stair selected, I will come into X form and I am going to select pattern. So, when I click on pattern, the first thing here is the axis I am going to change it to Z axis, and centered I am going to switch it off, and in spacing mode I will leave it by count and set the number of count to 3. In the range here, if I zoom out, see now this range is too high, I will just pull this range down here like this. I will zoom in and I will adjust this range in such a way so that this comes and just mounts on here. So, I will move it approximately by 200 units, and then I will scroll down and enable separate actors, and with this option selected I will click accept, and now you can see 3 objects created here, pattern underscore 0, 1 and 2, and I will select the stairs, and I does not need this stairs anymore, I will delete it. I am going to come into the top view, and in the top view I will select pattern 0, 0, let it be as it is, there will be no change. but pattern 0 1 I am going to set its rotation to 0 degree, and then I will right click, pan, zoom, and I will just drag this and place it on the back of my lift area, exactly sitting in between this lift backside and the wall here. I will select pattern underscore 02, and along the rotation, instead of minus 90 I will set it to 90, and I am going to drag it along the x axis, and I will just place it precisely on the other end of my lift. And now I will come into the perspective view, and now you can see that my 3 stairs, see the first set, the second set, and the third set, you can see it is ready. Now it is time to close these gaps. So I will first select this pattern underscore 0, I will press E and come up a little. I will now come into model, polygroup edit, come into face selection, I will remove the vertex selection, and I will select one which should select this face, which should select this face. I will come into push pull and move it by 100 centimeters. If I right click, press W and move this side, so we have created this, this is fine here, and click on accept action for push pull, and polygroup edit I will click accept. Come back here, now you can see a gap here. So I have to also fill this gap. So I will right click, press Q and come down, come back into polygroup edit, tilt up, press S and move down, so that I can see all the bottom faces. I will now first select the first face here. I am now going to click push pull, or I will come into the front view and have a look at it. I will make it 95 and then click accept. Come into perspective view, I will right click, press D and move to the select the next face here, and again I will choose push pull, and again I will come into the front. I will just minus this by 20. So if I subtract it by 20, it will be pulled correctly. I will accept the action here and click accept. I will again come into perspective view, polygroup edit, and next I am going to select this face. I will now come here into the front view. Again I will press push pull, and whatever value I have selected, I am going to minus this by 20 and press another 20 I have to minus. Okay, now this is fine. I left one in between face, I think. Yes, this face also I have left. So I will come into push pull, accept action, polygroup edit, accept. Again polygroup edit, I select this face and I will come into the front view, and again I will click push pull, and this time I have to add another 20, I think. I will move it by 55, press accept action, polygroup edit, accept on the other side here, and just check that how it appears when we are climbing the stair. But only issue is at this point gap here. So again I will come into polygroup edit, I will select these two faces also, push pull, and I am going to pull it by around, come into front view, and just move around and just match it with this. So I have to move it by around 15 centimeter, accept. So now if I come into the perspective view, I will come into polygroup edit, click accept. Due to darkness, if it is not clearly visible, I will come into unlit, and now you can see that these faces are cut correctly. So this is placed precisely to my this tilt ceiling level. Right click and I will press E and move up, and coming up, my next mission is to close this gap. So for that I will now select pattern underscore 01, and I will come into polygroup edit. I will right click, press A and slightly move it to the side like this, and I will select this face, with shift press this face, I will come into push pull and I am going to set its value to 100 centimeter. And now if I right click, press D and see it, so this has been pulled till here and this appears to be fine. I will click accept action and then polygroup edit accept. So I will come on the other side of this pattern underscore 0 underscore 1. Okay, so this appears to be fine. Right click and if I press D and come on the other side, press S, and if I press Q and come down, now again here you are seeing the gap, and this gap I have to fill it now. So to fill this gap, I will come down here and I will again come into polygroup edit, and here I am going to select these two faces which are at the same level. Then come into push pull and I am going to come into the right view now, and I have to pull this face till here. So I will move it by around 175 centimeter, and for 175 centimeter it comes and touches the bottom edge of the ceiling. So this appears to be fine. Now I am going to come into my perspective view and I will then click accept action for push pull, then for polygroup edit click accept, and this appears to be fine. So the same thing now I am going to repeat it. I will come into polygroup edit, right click, and I am going to select this face. I will come into the right view now, and I have to now pull this down, and again in push pull I am going to subtract minus 20, and this sits correctly here for 155 centimeter. I will click accept action, polygroup edit accept, then again I will come into perspective view, again polygroup edit, I will select the next step here, and again I will come into the right view, then push pull, and again I am going to minus this by 20. So for 135 this sits correctly. Then I will click on push pull accept action, polygroup edit accept, then I will come back to perspective view, again polygroup edit, and I select these two faces which are at the same level. I will come to push pull, then again to right view, and I will again subtract this by 20 centimeter, and then I am going to click on push pull accept action, polygroup edit accept. And now if I come into the perspective view and if you have a look, this appears to be fine. So this part also I have to pull it down here. So I will select this pattern underscore 0. I will come into polygroup edit, but here what happens is, if I come and see to pull it down here, I doesn't have the face. See, for this I have to pull this and I have to create a new edge here. So I will come into insert edge loop and I am going to insert an edge here for this pattern underscore 0, and then click accept, and then again come into polygroup edit, and this time I will switch off face and I will select edge. I will enable this edge loop and I will select this entire edge, come into the top view. I am just going to pull it back so that it touches this wall like this. And once I have aligned it to the wall, I will just switch off this delta mode and again switch it on, and along the y axis my thickness of my parapet wall is 4 inches, which is 10.16 centimeter. So here along the y I move it by 10.16 centimeter. I will click accept, then again I will come into the perspective view, again I will deselect, select again, come into polygroup edit, and now you can see I got this face. So I will switch off this edge selection and edge loop, select the face mode, select this face, and then come into push pull, again come into the right view, and I am going to subtract this by minus 20. That is, if I pull it by 95, see this sync correctly with the ceiling. I will click accept action and polygroup edit, I will click accept, and if I now come into the perspective view, you can now see that this wall is now fully covered and we have our staircase, second part our staircase is now ready. So, now this part is ready and if I climb here, this part is ready, and now the next part that I have to edit is this third part. Now, to fill this gap, I am again going to select this pattern underscore 01, that is our second set of steps, and I am going to move in on the other side here. I am again going to come into polygroup edit. In selection filter with the face selection on, I am going to select this face and with shift I select the other face also, and then come into push pull and in fixed pull it by a distance of 100 centimeter. Then in push pull click on accept action and in polygroup edit click accept. If I deselect this and if I just have a look, I have to cover up this parapet wall. I am now going to select my third staircase, pattern underscore 0 underscore 2, come into polygroup edit. With again with face selection filter on, I select this face and with shift I select the second face at the bottom. I will come into push pull and setting it to 100, again click on accept action and polygroup edit also click accept. If I climb up and if you see this, I want this to be straight. I will now come into the front view, come into polygroup edit, and this time switch on vertex selection and switch off face selection, and now first select the first set of vertices here and you can see its Z value, it is 637.5. I will just select it and copy it. Now, I will select the next set of vertices here in the Z axis. I will press Ctrl V and paste it. Now, I will again select the next set of vertices, come into this Z axis value and press Ctrl V and paste it, so that they all have the same Z axis value and they are straight. Then I will select the next set of these vertices and again come here, press Ctrl V, paste and press enter. I will next select this set of vertices, come here, Ctrl V and press paste, and finally select this last set of vertices, come here, press Ctrl V and paste it. If I click on polygroup edit, accept, and if I now come into the perspective view and if I deselect it, okay, so now this appears to be fine, and if we go on the other end and have a look at it, this appears to be fine. Our next job is to select this and combine them all together as a single mesh. So, for that first I will select pattern underscore 0 underscore 0, with shift select I will select pattern underscore 0 underscore 1, and let us now in the model come into boolean. So, when I click on boolean, by default it is difference A minus B. Clicking here, come and choose union and click accept. Keeping boolean selected, with shift press select this pattern underscore 0 underscore 2, again press boolean and in mesh boolean click accept. Now, entire thing is converted into one single mesh. Come into your outliner, press F2 and I am going to call this as SM underscore stairs underscore, and this is for the ground. I will come into X form, I will choose convert and I am going to convert this into static mesh, and in the convert click accept. You can see the icon here changes to static mesh, and if you come into your content drawer maps in generated Satvik, now you can see that SM stairs ground static mesh is created. I will just right click this and I am going to rename this as SM underscore stairs, and this is for 3 meters. Similarly, for the other stairs also, I will right click and rename it as SM underscore stairs, and this is 2 underscore 4m. I will then select this SM underscore stairs 3m and double click it to open it in my materials window, and here I will come into material slot, click here and select ML and select this pillar concrete. and then click on the save button and close this. With this SM still ground selected, come here into UVs, select UV unwrap, and in island generation choose polygroups and click accept. I will right click and come out. Our stairs for one floor is ready. If I press Q and come down, so you can see one floor stairs is ready. Now I want this to be repeated for other two floors. So if I come into the front view, see one floor we have this ready, and I have to repeat this for one, two, these two floors. And just like last time, to repeat it, I will now come into X form and I am going to select pattern. And in pattern again I will choose Z axis, I will switch off centered, and by count I am going to set it to 3. So, we have 3 copies, and now in the extent if I just zoom out, I have to now pull this down. I will select this, pull it down. You can see to just match the topmost floor ceiling, this step should match the topmost floor ceiling. So, if I extend it for about 600 centimeter, it will precisely sit here. I will scroll down and enable the option separate actors and click on accept. So, now this again is converted into 3 patterns, and now I am going to select this SM underscore stairs underscore ground and delete it, because we have this pattern. Now, I will come here, zoom out, and I am now going to select this pattern one by one. So, the first one I will select, press F2 and I will call it as SM underscore stairs ground, and the next one I am going to again press F2 and I will call it as SM underscore stairs underscore first floor. Next one I will again press F2, call it as SM underscore stairs underscore second. Now, with this done, I will go to file and choose save all. If I come into perspective and from unlit I will change it to lit, and now if you just preview it once, say I will press Q and come to the ground floor. See, this was the floor we created in our last session, which is for 2.4 meter, and now if I just press E and move up, say this is the ground floor, first floor and second floor floors, and as you move up you are going to see the steps coming down. So, I will just travel from here. See, we can get down like this stairs. Okay, I will come down to my second floor, then okay, this is lift. In the next area I will just come down here, next second floor, you can move down, and now all our floors are ready. So, see, I have moved down and this is SM stilt floor, and once I move down you can now see that we have all our 4 floors ready. I just now select this first floor, ground floor and second floor, all the 3, drag it and put it into the stairs folder. I will come into file and choose save all. So, with this we have successfully completed our entire structure, and in our next session we have to start working on the interiors.